My name is Andy Winterstein, and I'm an associate clinical professor in the Department of Kinesiology. And our short demonstration today, we're going to talk about interactive whiteboards and how I use them in my athletic training education program in kinesiology. One of the things I use in my classes, specifically my Introduction to Athletic Training course, are some various web materials that we've already prepared to help draw in certain concepts. So one of the fun ones that we have out there is a blood pressure assessment module as we teach students how to assess blood pressure. So I can simply double click here and go right out to the web where this module lives, and then I can use, just by touching on the screen, I can guide the students through this particular blood pressure module. This one's actually kind of fun because it has some simulations we've designed, and then I can do this right from the board for the entire class, and we can mimic how to take a blood pressure and then run that all the way through to the various sounds associated as the students listen through the stethoscope. So it's kind of a fun tool, and the ability to present this in front of the whole group by easily tapping on the screen has proven to be a nice trick for us. Another nice module that we have is our musculoskeletal assessment module, and this was developed years ago with some folks at DoIT and through the School of Education, actually. And what this is just a little injury assessment module. And again, I can tap through the various screens just by tapping the screen. And then this is embedded with some videos to show the students specific techniques. And I can also point out the various information that's available. So it's a nice way to demonstrate this in front of the class, and then the students can go to it in another venue, either at their computer at home, through the Learn at UW site. Lots of different ways to go. So I like being able to draw the web material into the classroom a little easier using the smartboard compared to if I have to navigate from the desktop or navigate from the mouse. I also have a little Jeopardy game that was developed with a colleague of mine out in California. I guess in the interest of copyright protection, I should say Jeopardy-like game. But this is complete with questions and answers, and I can score teams correct or incorrect and give them points, and we can play a whole game in front of the class. Being able to do this from a whiteboard where I can just touch and navigate the game makes that nice and fun for the students while they're playing. So if you take mechanism of injury for 300, you can learn about the subluxing patella, answer the question, and maybe if your team gets it correct, you can earn some points. So those are just some ways that I use it to navigate around the web. One of the things I really like the smartboard for is where you can use the draw functions to enhance how you present anatomy or certain situations. Now, obviously, my subject matter is very anatomy heavy, so I have some real luxuries in terms of being able to use lots of really cool anatomy demonstrations for my students. So for instance, if I was teaching a group for the very first time about the knee joint and I wanted to talk about some of the unique things about the patella, I can just simply lift up on one of the pens, and now I can draw with my finger, and I can talk about issues surrounding the inferior pole of the patella and how there's a whole group of injuries that are unique to that location. I can demonstrate the tibial tubercle and talk about some of the different injuries that are unique to that location. If I got real creative, maybe I could even draw part of a patellar ligament and put that in place. Lots of different things that I could do just by simply using the drawing function. One of the features I like is that it's nice to be able to use the pens to draw in various colors, but sometimes there's a highlighter function that's included in the smartboard that can be really helpful. So if I just come to my tools on the left-hand side of the smartboard and hit highlighter, then I can use my, my finger and just highlight particular parts of the anatomy. So I can talk about the area between the joint surface on the tibia here. I can talk about issues around the outside. This highlighter function is very, very helpful. If at any time I want to start over, I can just grab my eraser, erase all of the markings that I've made, and then in very short order move on to make another point. Now, the internet is chock full of all sorts of dandy videos, some of them appropriate for use in your class, many of them inappropriate for use in your class. But for a topic like athletic injuries, there's lots and lots of things out there of specific injuries that happen. So if somebody like Tom Brady, who as a public sports figure probably expects very little privacy, we can talk about this YouTube video, and I can show students that the injury mechanism that's about to take place here. So here's the quarterback with their leg planted very firmly. We're going to see players from the opposite team coming. So if I'd been introducing a concept like valgus stress injury, I can show them that a valgus stress injury comes from the outside of the knee, moves the distal segment away from the midline, and that's what constitutes an injury for an MCL. And if I erase that and just let the video play to conclusion, we're going to see that that's the exact injury we're going to have. And there you go. Easily come right back into my talk, and there I am. That's the end of my slideshow, but just a few examples of how we use the smartboard, different things that we can do. I think there's lots more that I could be doing. I haven't spent much time with saving a lot of my drawings because I like to have some differences to each individual topic and mix it up for the students. I know there's many, many more things we can do, but if someone's going to use the smartboard and they can simply improve their web navigation, use some of the simple drawing techniques, and then bring together some of the video and the drawing, I think that that can help paint a nice picture for the students.